How's it going, everybody? My name is Fliptriq. We're playing a little bit of Final Fantasy XIV. Right now we're in the early access, still under NDA, so I'm not able to release this video until things go live, but I still wanted to get things ready, give you guys a little bit of an idea what the game's like, at least on the PS3. Right now I'm a Marauder, leveling up to be a warrior, which is one of the tanking classes. It's more of the offensive tank, doesn't use a shield. Feels, from what I've read, seems like it's going to be more like a Death Knight. It's like the AoE tank, doesn't have a shield, more like a... Hopefully, people are saying it's like an ad tank, but hopefully it doesn't turn out to be like that. I don't know. Other people are saying it's just as DPS-y as any of the DPS classes and still as tanky as the Paladin, which I think is kind of hard to believe, but I know the Paladin's going to be like the traditional tank, so I wanted to check out the Marauder, or the Warrior, and see what that's like. The cool thing about this game is you're able to level any class as one character, so one character could be every single class in the game, basically. So if I level up the Warrior and don't end up liking it, it's not really what I'm expecting, then we'll probably go Paladin. So we're gonna, in order to become a Warrior, you have to get a Gladiator to level 15, which is also the base for the Paladin. You have to get him to 30 for the Paladin, but 15 for the Warrior, and then a Marauder to level 30. Right now we're level 18 on Marauder. We're going to do the first dungeon, which is Sastasha. Queued up just now. We're queuing up as a tank, so it shouldn't be too long. I'll take this time to go over some of the abilities. Basically, the UI is similar to like a PC-based MMO, but instead of having a mouse and a keyboard using the controller, obviously. If you hold R2, you have access to 8 skills on the right. If you hold L2, you have access to the 8 skills on the left. And then you can cycle through your different hotbars with R1. So it takes a little bit of getting used to start off with. I had to cycle through different targets. You press the left and right on the D-pad, which for the most part it works pretty well, but when there's multiple groups of enemies and you're trying to pull one and you're trying to cycle through them and build up threat, it's kind of difficult. I've had a few issues, but overall it's not too bad. If you look over here on the far right, at the top is Heavy Swing. That's the Marauder's base attack. It's where most of their combos start from. If I do Heavy Swing and then Skull Sunder, it builds up additional threat from Skull Sunder. If I do Heavy Swing and then Maim, it adds more damage. Fracture is like a DPS dot. Tomahawk is their ranged pull attack. Flash is an AoE taunt. It's not really a taunt, it just builds up threat from everything that's around you. In this game they don't call it threat, they call it enmity. So there's not like a traditional taunt, you just have to build up your enmity higher than everybody else. And for the most part I can hold the threat unless there's one of the Topaz Carbuncles. I'm guessing that's the tank pet. Here's one of the Carbuncles right here. This is the Emerald Carbuncle. I think that's the DPS one, and I'm thinking the Topaz is the tanky one. And I'm not really sure, I haven't played that class yet, I don't really know much about it. Aside from the class I'm playing right now, I don't really know a whole lot about the game. But whenever one of those Topaz Carbuncles has threat, it's almost impossible for me to get it back, which I hope changes later on in the game. Brutal Swing is like a single target stun, and Overpower is kind of like Shockwave in WoW. It's a frontal cone attack. I guess it doesn't have the stun, so it's not really like Shockwave, but it has the same effect. The Sprint is just your basic sprint. You can use it every 30 seconds or so. It lowers your TP, which is kind of like mana for melee attacks. When you're each of these skills, like Heavy Swing, there's a 70 in the bottom left corner. Fracture is 80. Each one of those skills takes your TP away, which slowly regenerates through a battle. I think the Bard is able to regenerate TP, but that's the only class that can. I might be wrong. I think it's the Bard. I'm not positive. I know there's one class that does do that, though. Mustard Eggs is just a food buff, and a potion is obviously just a potion. Foresight is it increases my defense by 20% for 20 seconds, I think. Yeah, 20 seconds. Convalescence is another one of the gladiator skills. I'm not going to keep that here. When you level up your different classes, you have access to various abilities that you can take from other classes. Like if I were to level up a conjurer, I could get cure or protect. I don't really have the mana to sustain or to actually use that in combat very effectively, so I haven't done that yet. I might pick up protect later on though. Usually the healer in the group is able to supply us with that buff, so I don't think I'll need that, but in the future if I want it I can grab it. But for the gladiator we have flash, and salvage blade is similar to the heavy swing from the Marauder, just like a base combo builder. Convalescence increases HP restored by spells or actions by 20%. Only reason I have that is for my bloodbath. It's kind of like for the next, I think, 15 seconds, all the damage that I do, I get 20% of that, or 25% of that damage back as a heal. So it's kind of like a self-heal, and convalescence makes that a little bit stronger. Like I said, I don't have a full range or a full bar of skills yet, so I'm using that just for the time being. But that's a basic understanding of the Marauder. It's basically you'd run in, run up to a group, throw your tomahawk, run in, then I usually flash, kind of back up a little bit, throw out overpower, get a little bit of AoE damage out, and then I cycle fractures, and then I kind of just rotate heavy swing skull sunder to build up that enmity in the different enemies, and occasionally add some overpowers in as well. If things get a little crazy and I don't have threat, then I'll start using flash a lot more often. I don't have a ton of MP, and it does take 27 mana for me to actually use flash, so I can't use it too much, otherwise I go pretty quick. I thought this queue would have been over by now, so probably just have to end up editing the rest of this out if this doesn't happen soon enough, and then we'll just start resume the video once the instance comes up. It's a pretty straightforward instance though. There's nothing too crazy. It's basically just your introductory tutorial instance for the most part. It's very basic, very straightforward. I think the biggest pull you do is 3 enemies, a couple boss fights, all of which are very basic. I've done the whole thing except for the last boss fight. I had previously recorded this video once, and we got disconnected due to a server crash, like just before the very last boss, which is kind of unfortunate. So I'm trying to do this video again. The level requirement for Sastasha is 15. It's level 15 to 18 instance. If you're higher than 18, you get level synced, which basically downgrades everything as if you were level 18, so you're not overpowered, but you can still run it, and I'm pretty sure you can still get experience from it. But we're just going to go ahead and wait until this comes up, and I will see you guys then. Alright, so we just got our queue, so we're going to hop in here. And here we go. And from my understanding, there's 20 different dungeons as of release, and then 1 raid, which is the Binding of Bahamut. I don't know anything about it, but it sounds pretty cool, so looking forward to that. I'm going to be doing videos for each dungeon run as I get to them on the Marauder or the Warrior when I get to that point. Then after that, I'll be doing tutorial guides for the other classes as I start leveling them up. Then as always, I'm going to be live streaming this game quite a bit, so if you're interested in checking this out, if you have any questions, feel free to swing by twitch.tv/Fliptriq, and I should be live streaming there pretty often. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this black bat and throw my tomahawk. Good, a little bit of AoE. Looks like we don't have a, I think it's the Arcanist who has the carbuncles. I don't think we have one of those, so that's nice. I have a target list on the left side of the screen where it says A and B, Black Bat. Looks like I'm losing some threat. I don't know who this other guy is, but the archer is out-threatening me quite a bit right now. That's the only thing I don't really like about this class is it's hard for me to pull or to gather a threat, and if I lose it, I rarely am able to get it back. At this point, I'm level 18. When you are leveling up your character... Oh, okay. Sorry, I was hearing what you're saying. When you level up your character, you should have all the abilities I have right now except for Maim. Cycle some fractures, get those debuffs out. Losing thread over here on C. I'm just losing thread all over the place. I think this is very similar to like vanilla WoW, where you actually have to give the tank a few seconds to actually get that initial threat before you start DPSing. Not positive right now. Like I said, it's just the first dungeon, so it's not too important. It'd be nice if I could tank traditionally, but it's not the end of the world if I can't. It seems like anybody who pulls threat usually has a pretty high survival chance. So, in order to cycle through targets, we're using left and right on the D-pad. If you have a PC, it's just tab. I would imagine target swapping is a lot easier on the PC. But I'm playing this on the PS3. I have a... I feel more comfortable on the PS3. I enjoy it a little bit more. Also, I'm not sure how my computer will handle this game as far as live streaming and everything. Give me my threat back. Throw some tomahawks, try to grab some threat. It's not working. Just rush to the next guy. Healer has mana, so we're good. There's one room that's coming up here pretty soon where there's quite a few pulls fairly close together, and that's really the only time where it gets kind of difficult for me to cycle through targets correctly. Overall, my impression of this game is pretty good. I've enjoyed what I've played. Looking forward to the higher level dungeons and stuff, so can't wait to actually get leveled up. It's gonna be nice. Wish I could live stream, but unfortunately the game still has an NDA. So until that gets lifted, I'm not able to. I'll wait for this clan to open up and then we can start attacking it again. This is that room I was talking about where the poles are fairly close together. Normally I'd have the camera zoomed out a lot more, but because of that I try to keep it zoomed in. Just so target confusion doesn't happen as often. I'm not having as many issues as I did the first time. With target swapping at least. And after this room, if I remember right, is the first boss. Throw out those fractures, and then we start building threat. But we're losing it on the sky. So I'll throw a couple tomahawks. Try to get that threat back. Switch over to a heavy swing skull sunder combo. Still didn't get it back. Still have it on the sky though, so. And if things really mattered, if threat was really an issue, I could always mark the targets. That is an option. But since this is just a basic dungeon, I'm pretty sure most of the people in here are running this for the very first time. Like I said, it's not a huge deal. Just gonna focus on the clam. If I can target him. There we go. And somebody pulled the next group. Let's try to pick this up if I can. There we go, got most of it. Yeah, I'm targeting it on somebody else, so let's try to get a quick stun out. And do that heavy swing skull thunder combo, and it looks like I got him back, so. One of the biggest differences between this and WoW is the global cooldown is 2.5 seconds rather than 1.5 seconds. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but it does make things a little bit slower. Kind of makes your decision making on which ability to use next a lot more important. Gonna AoE these guys down. Got threat in the clan, so that's really all I'm concerned about. Actually, I have threat on everything there. The only problem with constantly spamming your AoE ability, the overpower, is it takes 130 TP, which I'm not sure what that stands for. I haven't figured that out yet. So it's like twice as much as any of your other abilities, and you can use it for a while, but it does drain that pretty quick. It drains it faster than you're able to regenerate it. Alright. So this is where the first boss comes in. Activate these corals. I had threat for a while. There we go, got it back. I'm gonna stun him to reduce the damage he does to the DPS who has aggro. I wasn't able to get it back there. So I'm assuming this is random, because the first time I pulled the green coral first, and that's what caused the boss to come, so I'm not sure if someone else just happened to pull the red coral first. I'm not sure, but I'm assuming it's random. Yeah, they're not giving me any time to gather threat. I have it right now, though. Stun, throw out my fracture. And I lost threat again. Right out of his AoE, throw some tomahawks. Just my ranged threat ability. Also, I think if everybody's level 15, things might be a little bit different. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure if that guy actually is level 18 or if he's just scaled down from 18. Alright, so we got a helm. So it's for gladiators, marauders, paladins, and warriors. It's pretty good. Looks like it's a tanking helm actually. It has some parry, some vitality, so I'm going to go ahead and meet on that. First time I ran this, I got a pair of pants. It was tanking pants, so having some pretty good luck on that boss. I've only seen him drop tanking gear. It's the only target that I'm losing threat on. Now I'm kind of losing it all over the place, but got it back on everybody. I have it on everybody now, so. I don't know what the different symbols mean. I don't know what the squares and the triangles mean. Hopefully I'm able to figure that out soon. Stun this dog. So, like I said, it's a pretty straightforward instance. Nothing too complicated. Just very, very basic. But I find it fun. So, if this is basic and things get more advanced, I think I'll enjoy this game quite a bit. Alright, the captain's really the only thing I'm going to focus all my attention on. I'm going to try if I can to get the other things on me, but the captain's the most important. I'm pretty sure that's the second boss. I don't remember, but I think he is. Use my flash. Well, one of the ads is dead. Looks like he's just kiting him around. I'm not going to be able to get threat back from him, so I'm just going to focus on this guy, build up some enmity. They know what they're doing for the most part. And from my understanding, for the most, like, you have a few threat building abilities, but I don't think I have as many as the paladin has. Yeah, that was the second boss. I think you fight him again at the end, I don't know. And then we have a lancer and dragoon spear, so I'm gonna just greed on that, because I don't need that. Can't even use it. Anyway, the paladin has more, I think, has more threat generating abilities, and for the most part the warrior or the marauder just builds threat through DPS, is what I've been told. So. And I think once I get better gear, I'll have an easier time trying to tank. trying to build the threat. Come here. Ooh, somebody aggroed everything. Thought I could get by him. Pretty sure that's how I did the first time. Use flash. I think I've got everything on me right now, except for this guy. He was on me a second ago. Left. Okay. Alright, I guess this is where we got last time. We got the captain's quarters key, so I guess we have to go in here first. Yeah, that archer does some crazy threat. The DPS must be pretty good. It's another class I'm kind of interested in. The three classes I want to play are the paladin, the warrior, the archer, and I guess the summoner I want to check out too. So I guess there's four that I'm interested in. Those will probably be the first four that I end up leveling. Alright, let me get some threat, please. I should have used my food buff. I just realized I didn't have that on, so I'm going to throw that up real quick. Gives you, or when you have your food buff going, it gives you a 3% XP bonus. Which is something I should have had the whole time. There's the Wayfighter Gate key. That's what we wanted. And it looks like the end is right there, so we're very, very close to the end of the instance. Flash out, back up, overpower, add would have ran away, that would have been a little more convenient, and do one more And then cycles, fractures. Actually do a fracture tomahawk cycle. So I get my dots out and then also get a little bit more threat. Looks like we're gonna have the same thing happening as we did last time. The DPS pulls the ads and carries them around, and I just focus on the boss because I don't want to lose DPS or lose threat on the boss. As long as the ads are getting taken care of and nobody's dying, we're good. So when I use Heavy Swing, that's like a base combo builder. From there I can go main or Skull Sunder. If I use Heavy Swing before main, it makes main 20% stronger. If I use Heavy Swing before Skull Sunder generates more threat. And I'm wondering if the additional damage that I get from using main in the combo, if that will... Alright, we need a flash. If that would be more beneficial than the additional threat, I'm not sure. Some fractures out. There's a threat on this guy, so I'll throw a tomahawk. And back to the captain. And my TP is completely drained. One thing I do recommend if you're planning on going the warrior route is to level your gladiator before you level the marauder. Alright, we have a Disciples of War, which is any of the melee classes. I think also the archer is included in that. So I got a helm earlier, so I'm going to pass on that. I don't really need it. My taking helm would be better than that. Anyway, I'd recommend doing the Gladiator to 15 before doing the Marauder to 30 so you can pick up Flash. It's pretty beneficial, especially if you're planning on running instances often. It's nice to have an AoE threat builder. Overpower is pretty good, but Flash is much better at generating that AoE threat from what I've experienced in the couple of dungeon runs I've done. Alright, how do I do this? I'm going to try to just pull this guy over here. Hopefully I get him solo. Now we'll grab the next one. Everybody's scooting up, so I might as well too. Kind of don't want to pull too much, even though we'll probably handle it since we're all higher level than we need to be. I just don't want to aggro the entire room. Actually, I'm going to grab the 3 of these guys. Just run in there. Did they not aggro? Huh. Okay. Then never mind. These ones do. So we'll run in, get that flash, throw out a couple overpowers, then do the tomahawk fracture cycle. For AoE groups, I'm not sure how important it is to keep Fracture up on each of them. I don't know if it's actually beneficial. So it only lasts 18 seconds, and with a 2.5 second global cooldown, it's kind of hard to keep everything up and actually still build threat on everybody. I think it might just be more of a single target thing. Alright, I think we're at the last boss. Thought it was going to be the pirate, but it was not. I'm not going to worry about Fracture too much. I'm more concerned I'm not losing this guy. I want to keep my threats. Get out of that killing ability. Alright, I think I have a pretty high threat lead. I feel like I do. He takes him away from everybody else, so they're all attacking behind him since they're not running back there. Alright, enemy approaches. Let's go pick him up. Tomahawk. Then flash since I still don't have him. Oh, he's dead. Okay. Fair enough. Alright, looks like the archer's actually planning on cutting the ads, so we'll just let them do that. Now I'm going to switch to the heavy swing main combo so I get some more DPS out, since I'm fairly certain I have a pretty high threat lead. I'm trying to flash, see if I can get that guy off of the healer. Looks like the archer ended up getting him. So we're good. Seems to know what he's doing. He is taking quite a bit of damage though. I'd like to have a traditional taunt so I can grab something and have it immediately come to me, but I don't have that yet, and I haven't seen that in the description of any of the abilities I'll be getting. But there you have it. And that was Sastasha, the very first dungeon, levels 15 to 18. See what loot we grabbed. Looks like DPS gloves. Not really anything I need. But like I said, I'll be doing this for the rest of the dungeons on my Marauder Warrior level up process. If you want to see these videos live, head over to twitch.tv/Fliptriq. I should be live streaming pretty frequently with this game. And then for the other classes, I'm going to try to do some tutorial videos as I figure them out, and just do a more in-depth tanking video once my warrior gets to level 50. So we'll also be doing boss strategies and if they're required for the raids. I don't know if they will be, but I'm not sure how in-depth this game's going to end up getting, but I hope it turns into something similar to what WoW was back in its good days. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this. I will see you in the next video.